Aave value expectation May 2022 concerning May 2022 Aave cost basically is gauged to show up at a most negligible possible level of 7309, which truly is genuinely huge. The Aave cost could basically show up at a most outrageous possible level of 8223. With the commonplace guess cost of 79.94, in an unobtrusive manner, Aave value figure June 2022 in June 2022, the expense of Aave explicitly is gauged to fundamentally be at around a base in every practical sense, worth of 77.73 or so. They explicitly thought the Aave Steam kind of worth can sort of show up at a restriction of 85.42. With the regular trading sort of worth of 81.54 in USD, in an unobtrusive way. Aave value expectation July 2022 concerning July 2022 Aave cost generally is gauged to in a real sense show up at a most negligible possible level of 79.36, which really is very critical. The Aave cost could sort of show up at a biggest possible level of 88.69 with the normal measure cost of 83.17. Which is very huge. Aave value figure August 2022 in August 2022, the expense of Aave is assessed to sort of be at around a base genuinely worth of 81.86. The Aave Steam worth can basically show up at a constraint of 92.01. With the normal trading genuinely worth of 85.67, in USD Aave value forecast September 2022, the expense of Aave in a real sense is expected to in a real sense reach basically genuinely worth of 84.33 in 2022. The Aave cost could truly show up at a biggest worth of 96.30. With the commonplace trading cost of 87.38, all through 2022 or so, they thought Aave value conjecture October 2022 for October. The expense of Aave is expected to essentially show up at a common month-to-month uttermost explicitly reaches of 90.88, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 10,066 and at kind of the least 87.07. In a significant manner. Aave value expectation November 2022, the expense of Aave is expected to explicitly arrive at in any event all goals and purposes, worth of 89.79 in 2022. Which especially is very critical. The Aave cost could show up at a generally especially outrageous in every practical sense worth of 10,430, with the common trading cost of 93.60 all through 2022, which certainly is genuinely huge. Aave value conjecture, December 2022 and December 2022, the expense of Aave generally is gauged to for the most part be at around a base worth of 91.67. The Aave cost commonly worth can show up at a restriction of 10,804 with a regular trading worth of 95.47 in USD. However, after the differentiating the continuous expense and late days cost history, it in every practical sense is seen that Aave essentially has extended 13,399 in its worth. The run-of-the-mill smallest expense for the month basically is 77.53. While most in every practical sense outrageous pretty ordinary expense was 87.22 in an unpretentious manner. This proposes that this coin is a sensible asset. And one more development to your plan of coins for long stretch, the 90 days cost change certainly is close 52.55, and the expense in every way that really matters moved from a base run-of-the-mill cost of 20,075 to generally all things considered outrageous sort of ordinary expense of 23,081 in the past 90 days in a significant way. Aave in a real sense is someplace close 47.88, with the most lovely outrageous run-of-the-mill cost of the coin certainly was around 20,387, and the base ordinary worth of by and large was around 17,664 in past 4 months, which sort of is genuinely huge. Aave value estimate 2022 facts, what will truly be Aave worth in 2022? In an unobtrusive manner, the Aave cost generally is gauged to sort of show up at a most lovely outrageous level of 10,804, with smallest expense of 91.67, close to the completion of 2022, in a quite huge manner. Does Aave generally have a future lovely, in spite of prevalent thinking, to the extent that worth Aave fundamentally has a striking potential to show up at new levels? As a matter of fact, it by and large is measure that Aave will augment in regard, or so they thought, is especially showed. By unambiguous subject matter experts and business inspectors, Aave can rock the boat in and out of town. Cost of 358,683 till 2030, which basically is genuinely huge, as Aave certainly worth buying in 2022, which in a real sense is genuinely critical. Aave's essentially worth, all things considered, should continue to develop as lack will in kind of broad help cost rise in the event that it's not excessively sort of much difficulty. Note there certainly is a bet to any endeavor, or so they really thought, just generally placed assets into what you can essentially accomplish, preceding arriving at any goals, and lead the most sort of outrageous assessment possibly of value estimate. January 2023. The in every way that really matters, typical expense of Aave could go to 10,025 toward January's end. Beautiful in opposition to mainstream thinking. Aave could for the most part be trading around a biggest worth of 10,311, with the base expected cost of 9070. In an in every practical sense, significant way. Aave value conjecture, February 2023. In February 2023, the expense of Aave generally is assessed to be at around a base worth of 9848. The Aave esteem worth can show up at a restriction of 10,812, with the commonplace trading commonly worth of 10,325 in us genuinely, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Aave value expectation walk 2023. With respect to walk 2023, Aave cost generally is gauged to show up basically possible level of 10,158. In an unpretentious manner, the Aave cost could show up at a biggest possible level of 11,329, with a regular guess cost of 10,635. Or so they fundamentally thought. Aave value conjecture, April 2023. In April 2023, the expense of Aave for the most not entirely settled to be at around a base fundamentally worth of 10,466. In an in every way that really matters significant way, the Aave esteem kind of worth can for the most part show up at a restriction of 11,860, with the run-of-the-mill trading genuinely worth of 10,848 in us in a buy and large huge way. Aave value figure, May 2023. In May 2023, the expense of Aave explicitly is assessed to fundamentally be at around a base genuinely worth of 10,804. In a sort of large manner, the Aave esteem worth can explicitly show up at a constraint of 12,403. With the ordinary trading worth of 11,282 in us, especially in opposition to mainstream thinking. Aave value conjecture, June 2023. For June, the expense of Aave in a real sense is expected to show up at a normal month-to-month, actually the uttermost fundamentally reaches of 11,507. Well, the coin will trade between a constraint of 12,854 and no less than 11,126 in a huge manner. Aave value expectation, July 2023. Concerning July 2023, Aave cost basically is figured to show up at a most diminished possible level of 11,471. Incredibly, the Aave cost could generally show up at a biggest possible level of 13,314. With the normal figure cost of 11,853, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Aave value